Look, I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want none of this to happen. I'm just a regular old mope, trying to run my lap in the rat race and get out before anybody notices me. It was you. It was you, Fate. That's right. Are you up there, Fate? Oh, I know you're up there, hiding from me. But you can't hide, because I know that it was you with your fickle finger that drew this tapestry of doom around these people. Go ahead. I know you want to laugh at me. I know you want to laugh at all us poor, puny mortals. I'll tell you what. On the count of 3, go ahead. On the count of 3, laugh out loud at me. 1, 2, 3! That hurt. But I think you could do better. Because I think, Fate, I think you're even meaner than that. More mocking, more scornful. On the count of 3, go ahead. Really let me have it. 1, 2, 3! Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I thought. Looking down on us all, deciding what's going to happen to us, even against all our best efforts. Oh, why don't you amuse yourself by thinking back on the way you treated these people here? How about if you remember those poor few people upon whom you took your most pointed targeting practice? Let's look at them here. You remember now, Fate? You remember this man here? Go ahead and tell me, which one of these 2 women does this man kill at the end of this story? You could just, well, they're both in black and white, aren't they? And they're both blonde, too. Fate. Go ahead. It's either the one with the gold purse or the black purse. Which one does he kill? Just shout it out.
Gold.
Gold, that's right. He kills the one with the gold purse. And this woman here, at the end of the play, where? What type of place does she die in?
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
We're in America, buddy. Bakersfield. Doesn't everybody die in Bakersfield? Sooner or later. That's right. She dies in Bakersfield, California. And this woman here, what small, innocuous thing, seemingly insignificant, causes her downfall?
Sex.
That's right. The seemingly insignificant, innocuous act of sex causes her downfall. It's innocuous for me. I understood you. And me. You didn't spare me. Go ahead, tell me, which of these people do I fall in love with, but oh, too late?
Black purse.
That's right.
Him.
Black hat.
One Bakersfield suggestion a night. It's the lady with the black purse. So how did it happen, huh? How did we go from a group of people minding our own business, living our own lives, to this?
A man who kills the woman with a gold purse.
A woman who dies in Bakersfield.
A woman whose downfall is sex.
And me, falling in love with her, but too late. I'll tell you the tale. Oh, hey, just for fun. Imagine this was one of those movies they're cranking out in Hollywood nowadays. One of those crime films, like with Bogey and McCall, you know what I mean. What title would you give it?
A long night in Bakersfield.
The Long Night in Bakersfield. That's right. Well, go ahead, Fate. Sit back and review your handiwork. Sit back and watch A Long Night in Bakersfield.
Oh my God, it was a hot night.
I was scared. I just left the salon where I work. I'm a dancer, a singer. I always keep a lit cigarette in my purse when I'm scared. You know, I'm in the chorus. Nobody ever notices people in the chorus, so I hear things. I heard things last night. I swear, I ran out of there so fast that I got lost in San Francisco, but then I found myself in Bakersfield. How did that happen? Was I alone here? I know I see people around me, but they don't see me. I'm invisible. People everywhere, not looking at me, not talking to me, bumping into me. Oh. Oh. I'm sure I got followed. And then I saw him.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a town like this?
I'm just being nice on a street corner.
Being nice on a street corner, huh? That's a recipe for trouble. Especially here in California's armpit. Bakersfield.
I'm lost.
You look lost.
I'm dreadfully lost, and I don't usually talk to strangers, but you look like I could trust you because you're good looking. And I only trust good-looking people.
Hey, just a simple businessman walking home from work. Sam Carter. Nice to meet you.
Delilah. Delilah Miller. My friends call me Delilah.
Delilah, I'm going to tell you something, and I hope it's not too forward. You're beautiful. I mean, sure, in a big city like San Francisco, you might get lost in the shuffle. But out here in Bakersfield, I could make you a star.
Oh, could you?
Yes! See, I didn't tell you my line of work. I run the only review out here. And I need a star.
I need work. I'm lost, and I have run away. I've seen some terrible things, and I need to hide. I am a singer and a dancer. I'm very, very good.
Well, why don't you come by the club about 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon?
Oh, I'll be there. 3 p.m.
In the meantime, why don't you get yourself a room? There's a motel right over there. They'll put you up for the night.
Thank you. What was your name again?
Sam.
Sam. I think I'm going to fall in love with you, Sam.
This girl was trouble. I smelled it on her the minute I walked past her, but there was something about her. Something that made me feel like Samson. Strong, but weak. I was on my way home, as I had mentioned to Delilah. But I stopped into my favorite haunt, Marco's, for a drink. Hey, Jane, can I get the regular?
Sure thing, Sam. But the wife said to cut you off after 1 tonight.
That's right, I was married. Bakersfield was a small town. I couldn't get away with too much. I was on a pretty short leash.
You ought to be more careful about that, friend.
Sorry, Marco. How you been?
Sam, it's time you and I had a talk.
What's the news?
You notice how I haven't been around the past couple of months.
I have noticed that. You know, I stop in here every night after work. Or before work. After work.
I was hired for a job up in Frisco.
Really?
Being a private detective down here in Bakersfield just doesn't cut it sometimes.
I see.
Nobody does nothing bad in Bakersfield.
You're a Renaissance man, Marco. You own a bar, you're a local private detective, and you're expanding up to Frisco.
I was hired to track a dame.
You don't say.
I do say, I'll say it again. I was hired to track a dame. You got that now?
I'm tracking you.
She's bad news, this dame. Maybe you know her. Maybe you just met her, bumped into her in the street. Just maybe her name is Delilah.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. What are you tracking this dame for?
Tracking this dame because she's a suspect for murder. She's dangerous. I know you have a soft spot in that heart of yours for any dame with 2 gams. Well, she's got gams, that dame. Gams, gams, gams. You need to
I'm
be
not a
careful.
farming man, but this is Bakersfield, and I know gams when I see them. Suspect for murder? Are you kidding with that angelic pudding?
That's exactly the type who often does these murders. The people with the best punum.
Marco, I just offered her a job. I'm having her audition for me tomorrow, 3 p.m.
You think that was a mistake? You think you met her by coincidence? Or do you think that me and my boys orchestrated that? I know I can trust you, Sam. That's why I threw her in your way. So she'd find you, and she'd find you attractive. Did she say she was going to fall in love with you, Sam?
She did.
She says that to a lot of people, Sam.
And here I thought I was special.
Sam,
What do you need from me, Marco?
I need you to keep her close until we're ready to move in. We have 1 or 2 more pieces of evidence that we've got to secure before I can move in and take her down. You need to keep an eye on her, but I need you to be careful. I need you to be wary of her wiles, Sam, because I'm telling you she's no good. She'll kill you as soon as kiss you.
Marco, how sure are you? How sure are you that she's trouble?
87%.
She's such a sweet, innocent, young-looking thing. I'd hate to see for her to go down for something she wasn't involved in.
How's that wife of yours, Sam?
She's fine, Marco. She's just fine.
Forgives you, does she?
All right. I'm a bit like a tea bag these days, in hot water. And the kettle's bubbling over. No, she hasn't forgiven me.
Look, Sam, you've got something that a lot of people would give their eye teeth for. You've got love. You got a woman at home who sits there waiting for you at the kitchen table with a pot roast and a side of broccoli and a nice martini when you walk in. Maybe even a little melted butter on the side of that broccoli. Perhaps even a napkin and a napkin ring. Maybe a fork, a knife, maybe a spoon to go with it. Maybe it's all on a tablecloth. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just for Micah.
Stop telling me about my dinner.
But what I don't have, Sam, what I don't have is love. And you know why?
Because you're running at least 3 different businesses?
That's right, I'm a busy man. But more than that, I loved once. I loved a girl just like you loved a girl. She broke my heart, and I never recovered. And I swore that day that I'd never love again. You hear me, Sam? That's what I'm...
This is not an open bar.
See, women are trouble.
Even for the owner.
He's got
Marco
a
had told me the story of his lost love many times before, but once he got going, there was no stopping.
Then she was singing again, and I was all eyes.
Yes.
She took me home that night, Sam. She told me she loved me, and I loved her. I fell hard. I felt like an anvil in a bad comedy. But when I woke up, she was gone. I vowed that night to devote myself to my 3 businesses and maybe pick up another one. That's when I decided to become a detective.
Marco, something's troubling me. I remember the Dear John letter she left you. It said, I'm leaving for Frisco. You sure you don't have ulterior motives going up there?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But if I ever see her again, the first thing I'm going to do is shoot her. The second thing I'm going to do is not forgive her.
You're a troubled man, Marco.
All I'm telling you is that love will lead you down a blind alley and it'll smack your heart into a wall.
Hey, Marco. Bakersfield's a pretty small place. You recognize that shady-looking character? I've never seen him around here before.
Looks like a friskin to me.
He looks pretty frisky.
Look, Sam, I just need you to do me this favor. You keep an eye on this girl. You keep her close. Anything funny happens, you call me.
I will. I will, Marco. I will.
Be careful, will you?
Of course.
You're not much of a friend, but you're the only one I got.
Like I said, it's a small town. I looked at the clock. It was time to get home. I needed to try to repair things with Lucy. I stumbled out into the streets. My head was a fog. I felt like the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I crossed the threshold. There she was. Table setting, pot roast, just as Marco had described.
Oh,
I got home.
oh, Sam. I made a delicious pot roast for you. Broccoli. I got
Butter on the side.
fork and spoon.
It's awful nice looking. Are you sure I'm not going to find a razor blade in that pot roast?
I'm sure you'll be fine, honey. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Lucy! I told you a million times. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I fired that call girl, that chorus girl, okay? You know, we've been married for 7 years. The heart will wander. She seduced me. I fell under her temptations, but she's gone, baby, replaced. In fact, I hired someone new. She's auditioning for me tomorrow. Her name is Delilah.
Well, tell me about her.
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, she told me she was going to fall in love with me. But I won't let her, baby, I swear.
Sam, if you do this to me again, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start drinking again. That's what I'm going to do.
I took a bite of that roast beef. It was just like her feelings toward me. Hot, fiery, a little overdone. Sure enough, damn it, razor blade.
Damn it.
I see you're not ready to fully forgive me.
It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, and I'm going to need a lot of apologizing.
I can only say I'm sorry so many times. It was one mistake that happened a few times. I promise, baby, I'll never be seduced by an unsavory character again. You should see the face on this new singer I'm going to audition. It's angelic.
Look,
She looks like an innocent lamb.
I don't like the sound of it. Sure, it was one time, too many times. First it was Bakersfield, then it was Lodi, and then it was Button Willow. You was in Button Willow, and I caught you in Button Willow with that willow.
All right, I've slipped my way across the greater lower Central Valley.
Don't you know how embarrassing it is for me?
I swear to you, Soul Thing was a misunderstanding.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
I see you're not going to forgive me, so
Hey, sis. Sam?
Hey, Terry.
Terry,
Nice to see you, sweetheart.
good to see you too.
Got in from the city. I was looking for a place to stay. Of course, you're going to let me crash here, right?
Of course, you can stay here with us.
Frankly, my brother-in-law was a little like my wife's roast beef, unsavory. What brings you to town, Terry?
Oh, business. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Nothing important. Nothing to trouble yourselves about.
Listen, I'm at the tail end of a long day. I was just gonna go to bed. I'll be sleeping in my office tonight.
One of these days, you'll really be sorry. Don't eat the roast beef. It's not good for you.
Ah, Mom's roast beef.
That's right. What's up? How you doing, Terry?
Doing good. I'm making headway in It's a business that I do. You know what I mean?
You still doing tomatoes?
Oh yeah, tomatoes and sauce. Importing and exporting. The sauce. Tomatoes.
How's it going? Oh, my.
You know, how's it going with you? Part of the reason I came here is because I want to see how you're making it out with that bum Sam. You know, I can't truck it that he's been cheating on you this whole time.
I'm sure you heard about it. Doing your tomato run up and down the highway of Central California. I'm sure you heard all about it.
Yeah, high five.
Even Turlock.
It's a disgrace. My sister. She's still shacked up with that bum. Is there really no better man in Bakersfield? I tell you, you should just leave him and come stay with me in San Francisco. Ditch this place.
You think so?
It smells of cow manure anyway.
I don't know. I got everything wrapped up in this marriage. The house, the yard, the curtains, the couch. You think I could leave it all behind and...
Of course I do, Lucy. You don't want to end up just like Mom. She stayed with Dad, though he hit her and hit her. And look how that turned out, huh? She killed him and threw him over the Golden Gate Bridge. Now she's in prison.
I know, I was down there recently at the correctional facility. I brought her some roast beef. They wouldn't let it in.
It's the files.
I know, I don't know how they keep finding it.
Listen, that's not the point, sis.
Okay.
You need to get out of this marriage. You need to leave him now. You're too good for him. You just sit there like a whipped dog, letting him run all around the neighborhood while you just cook roast beef that may or may not be laced with razor blades.
You know what, Terry? I think you're right. Because deep down inside, I have needs that I have to have met somehow.
I think this might be a little talk for your girlfriends. I'm your brother.
Boss! In here, I got the sauce. Hold it around back.
The tomato shipment's ready, huh?
Yeah. Who is this lovely lady here? Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, so nice to meet you, too.
This is my sister, Lucy.
Oh, wow. Beauty doesn't run in the family, huh?
Yada. This is Bobby, an
Bobby.
associate of mine.
Bobby, yeah.
I like you, Bobby.
Got a ring around that finger. Shame.
She shouldn't, though, huh?
No.
Costume jewelry. It might be coming off soon. Who knows?
Who knows? You know, I don't know if your brother was telling you, but we got a place for dames like you in Frisco.
Yeah, we do.